everyone. Welcome back to Real Life Experiences Podcast. We're here with another interview with Alex. It's nice to meet you, Alex. How you doing?
Nice to meet you too. I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Just tagging along.
Yeah, it's about that time of year, this time of the semester.
Yeah, kind of upset that the spring break is over, but...
Oh, yeah. I feel like it needs to be longer than a week.
Oh, trust me, I felt that.
Oh, yeah. Especially, it's like the last drag. And, I've noticed that this semester goes by really, a lot slower than the fall semester because we have a lot more breaks in the fall.
Yes.
Which is kind of weird that we don't get more in the spring.
That's facts. I mean, I like sports in general. And just the fact that there's no sports in the spring, or not as many, just kind of makes it a little bit boring.
I can understand that. What's your favorite sport?
Well, I would have to say golf because that's what I do.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Tell me about that.
So I'm on the golf team. This is my 4th semester being on the golf team. So we play both fall and spring. We're kind of always busy. Other than that, I would probably say basketball and football. I like the atmosphere of the football games, but I really like the basketball games because they go far. So both the men and the women I love to watch, and they're great players, all of them. So yeah, I really enjoy watching them.
That's awesome. So you've been playing golf, you said, for 4 semesters here.
Yeah.
Did you play beforehand, or is that something you started in college?
Yeah, so I played since I was about 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've been playing a long time. It was actually my parents that brought me into golf. Both of them played, and they kind of just said, you don't have to continue with golf if you don't want to, but we at least want you to know how to play it so we can go out as family and play. And then, so I played for a couple of years and then kind of got bored of it when I was about 6, 7, so I quit and did my other sports like ice hockey and soccer and football and all that kind of stuff. Then I picked it up again and thought it was fun again, so then I just played ice hockey and golf for probably about 6, 7 years. Played the team nationals in ice hockey and played against the US.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When did you do that? Wow.
I was probably 16 at the time. So yeah, we were a good team. We were probably, we won the European Cup. We didn't go to the World Cup because I don't know what it was, but it was restrictions of some kind. It wasn't COVID, but it was something else. But we managed to play as Team USA. We played a lot of other European teams. We were undefeated for 4 years straight.
Wow.
Yes, over 200 straight wins.
That's impressive.
So, yeah, I had a great time.
That's awesome. I don't know a lot of people who golf, but, I guess I know a couple of people, but I don't know very much about it. So it's really cool to hear somebody tell me about something I don't know. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. I was debating about doing ice hockey over in the U.S., but then a couple of concussions came in the way.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got 3 bad ones, had a broken foot and a broken hand, so all during 2 years.
All during 2 years' time? Oh.
Yeah, and I got my last one during the championship, or Swedish championship. I got a really bad concussion, and I went to the doctor, and they said, if you get another one, you probably won't be able to do academics or anything after that, so... Then I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because I still want to play because I love the sport. And then I got offered a scholarship here at Missouri Southern for golf. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick with golf.
Oh, that's awesome. So you got offered a scholarship to come here.
Yeah.
So that was the reason that you came.
Exactly,
And how's your experience here so far?
I've had a great time. I like my roommates. I like my professors. I like my friends. Town could have been a little bit bigger, not going to lie.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to do here. But, we're close to Kansas City, Tulsa, Springfield, Branson. So... you can kind of get around and do things. For
sure. Yeah, it's about an hour, to each, kind of weirdly enough, around that area. It's just, kind of wish it was a little bigger, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's a great university, and I love all the people that are around here. I love where we travel with the golf team, and I love my coach. I love my teammates. So, yeah, I've had a great time so far.
Well, that's awesome. You said you travel, with the golf team. Where do you guys go?
Usually in the fall, when it's good weather, we usually stick around kind of, not Joplin area, but the close by states. So Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Illinois. During the spring, when it gets colder, we usually travel down to Texas, Louisiana, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's super cool. So you play golf, and what's your major? What do you study?
I study biochemistry forensic. Yeah, it's a lot of classes.
Ooh, I bet that went right over my head. I couldn't imagine. That just sounds difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult, not gonna lie, but back home so it's a little bit different back home. You do majors, not classes, even in high school.
Uh-huh. Oh.
So, yeah, it's very different. So, what you would do when you graduate from middle school, you would choose a major. and then you'll go to high school, and then what you would call like a graduating class, we would call a class that those are the people you're going to have every single class with.
Oh.
So our class was 30 people. I think the graduating class of my major was about, I don't know, probably 120 people or something. And so you would have all the classes together, as I said, and then you would pretty much go throughout these 3 years with the same people every day, and then you graduate together, and then you kind of got a mini degree, I guess.
In that year, like, I think that if I would have studied something more specific in high school, maybe I would know what I wanted to do more in college.
Possibly.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea.
Well, that was very nice coming from like a mini degree and knowing what I wanted to do. It was kind of nice going forward within the science field. Just I'm familiar with the classes and kind of the area that I'm studying, so it wasn't a shock when I came over here that it was a lot of science classes because I'd already done so many science classes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, I mean, it was so random that I came into forensic because I was supposed to be a chem major when I came over here.
Oh, really? Did you change that?
Yeah, so I was a chem major. Well, my head was just all based on chemistry. That's what I'm good at. That's what I like. So I was going to enroll for chemistry, and then just me and my mom and dad, we were just wandering around with our coach, my golf coach. I believe we were in Billingsley by the bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And we just randomly met Dr. Wilson, just walking across the hall, and our golf coach was like, hey, this is Dr. Wilson. He does the forensic program. He's the head chair of criminal justice. So he introduced himself and was like, hey, you should come to my classes. Like, they're real fun. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I was so focused on the chemistry part, but I was like, I'll give it a go. So in my freshman year, I enrolled in CSI 1.
Huh?
That was the best class I've ever taken in my whole life.
Really?
Oh, it was so much fun. I loved the class. And then directly after, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm combining criminal justice with chemistry.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that literally gives me goosebumps on how I just love hearing when people find that one thing that they love to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, are you a senior? Are you a junior?
So I'm actually a sophomore.
Oh, you're a sophomore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so smart. I was like, oh my gosh, I has to be a senior.
Well, academically, if I was to be able to transfer my credits, I would be a senior by now. I think I lost about 50 credits from back home,
Oh,
if you count the credits. So yeah, that was very unfortunate. But at the same time, I don't really mind because I'm just retaking the class and I get to spend 4 years here with the golf. So
It's worth it.
yeah, it's worth it.
That's awesome. I don't know how you can say you're not smart because I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh. As a comm major, I'm like, yeah, those science classes are no joke. I don't even think I made it through Principles of Biology 1.
I've heard bad stuff, but that's a tough class.
It is hard, especially, for people that like don't have the brain to kind of, understand the sciences. I took that class twice and neither one of those times did very well at all.
Oh.
So I'm sitting here like so impressed. Like, it's crazy, especially physics. It's like, oh my gosh. So which is the most challenging, do you think, out of the science classes?
Out of the classes, I would probably say, so I'm a big chemistry and physics kind of guy, so those are my strengths, I would say. I would say my biggest weakness is probably the upper bio classes. So I took general biology and I took human anatomy, both went out with A's and those, but then I went to general micro and medical biology, I think it was called. That class was so ass. It was so much work. I just could not. Like, I think we had 8 or 9 exams during that semester, including 5 lab exams, including 2 finals on top of that. So I think we ended up with like 17, 18 exams during that semester. It was one every week.
Every week.
And I'm not talking like a pop quiz that you can get. Like, they were 3-4 page exams. It was bad. I think we covered 200 slides in a week.
200 slides in a week.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my gosh. I guess you're getting no sleep.
Yeah, that semester was not fun because I took that, I took calculus, and then I took chemistry as well. So it was a tough year.
Yeah, no. No, I cannot imagine. I mean, one bio class for me was just, that was it.
That was
like,
it.
I'm not, like 3 or 4. No, no. I yeah, that's very impressive, but I'm glad that you're doing what you love. That's awesome. Like that's so great to hear. We love hearing that here.
Thank you. I was very prepared when I came over here. And I can just thank my high school back home and all the professors that I got close to that helped me grind through all of this. Just because it was such a big difference just academically, because we don't have like homework that you get graded on back home or anything. You would have a midterm exam and a final exam. That was your grade throughout the whole year. So we don't even do semester classes. We do a whole year. So you would have a book of 500 pages that you take the final exam on, and that's your grade.
That's it. Like there's no
Yeah,
homework at all. Oh,
no. So like if you take physics for example, we would do 500 pages during a whole year, and they were like, you have no homework, you have no papers you need to turn in or lab reports or anything. You study whatever you do. This was in August, and he was like, 10th of May, that's your final exam. Just be ready. I don't care when you do, if it's the last day before the exam or if you want to spread it out throughout the year, but just be ready for that date. And then you would have lecture every day, just cover all of that, and then you would get a final grade.
that's crazy. Did you find that more difficult or more?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it was tough. Especially doing like a whole year, a semester, you can get away with studying the last day because you're not going to cover that much material.
Mm-hmm.
But during a whole year, doing 500 pages of just physics or math or whatever the class was, it was awful. And then as soon as I came over here, and like some of the classes, like exams are not even worth 50% of your grade, and then the rest is like homework or lab reports or something. I was like, this suits me so much better
Yeah.
because I can just do the thing as I'm used to every week, and usually it will go decent at it, and then I wouldn't be as stressed for the final exam.
Yeah. I mean that. I'm sure the difference between that. I mean, that's so much information on one test. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, for people that don't do study the night before, like myself, that would not work. I mean, that is a lot of stress.
What's the longest exam, like time-wise, you've taken so far? Like an hour?
Like, yeah,
Hour
yeah,
exam?
probably an hour. I think I took a lab exam because I very, very, very short time. I was a biology major. And one of our lab exams took, I think, an hour and a half.
Yeah,
like that.
see, we would have 8 hours exams.
No.
Yeah. So we would start 8 a.m. in the morning, and we would have exam all the way to 12. Then we would have 30-minute break time for lunch or snack or whatever you want to do. And then you would sit for another 4 hours and write the exam.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and then, I mean, the lecture halls we were sitting like 500,000 people in the same, people came, because we had the biggest high school in the whole nation. So people from other schools that took the same major, they would come to our lecture halls and have the exam with us because it was a national exam. So you had to take the exam, every single in that major had to take it on that specific day. So everyone would just come to our school, and we would sit in this massive lecture hall or like exam hall, and you would just write the exam for 8 hours.
Oh my gosh, you said how long are these tests? Is it just one giant test that you have to take?
So in chemistry and bio, it's a little bit different, but if you go to like math and physics, they would have the first 4 hours would be without calculator. So you would have probably around 5-6 pages, probably around 30-35 questions, and you just have to solve them without any calculator. So you just have to, your brain has to be turned on.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I mean, you learn techniques throughout the year to kind of get around it and do shortcuts and all that kind of stuff. And then the second half of the exam, the remaining 4 hours, you would get the calculator, and the questions would be reduced to about 10 questions, but each problem would be 1 or 2 pages long. So it would just be like you're just building on. So if you find the answer to one thing, then you have to build it onto the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing.
That is terrifying.
It was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The no calculator thing, no way. No way.
That was the part where everyone was dreading. It was pretty bad. It was rough.
Yeah, that literally scares me, and I don't ever have to take that test, but that terrifies me. I still count on my fingers, so there's no way. There's just no way. So where are you from? We didn't get to that. Where are you from?
I'm from Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say a small town. I consider it a small town when moving to the US because your towns are just massive, most of them. But so I'm in a small town. It's like 3.5 hours west of Stockholm. It's right above our biggest lake.
Oh, what's your biggest lake?
It's called Vänern.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know how I missed asking you that before this even started. But so when did you come over here, like for the first time to the U.S.?
So my dad used to work in America for a lot of years before. No, actually, he had met mom by the time he went to the US. So he went back and forth to the US and Sweden for about 8 years. He lived in North Carolina, Charlotte. So, I mean, he just loved the US. He had such good memories and all that kind of stuff. And so he would always bring me and my mom whenever he finished working in the US and they got me. We would just go pretty much every year. So before I came to college, believe I had been to the United States 18 or 19 times. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So you were already like familiar with the
yeah,
U.S. Like that's awesome.
pretty much. I mean, a lot of friends back home, they haven't been to the US, so they've been maybe once or twice. And most of the time, it's like a hit or miss. Some people absolutely love it. Some people don't like it. But since I've had my dad here and he's traveled a lot within the US, he's always shown me the good places and kind of avoided the bad places. So I've always had a good experience over here. And so when I turned, I believe I was like 13 or 14, I just told my parents, like, I'm going to study in the US. Like, I'm doing it. And of course, for them, being that young, they were like, we'll see. It's a long time to go, all that kind of stuff. And then when it got to the time when I was like 17, 18, probably even 16, they asked me again, is this something you want to do? And I was like, I was older, I was kind of comfy at home. I was like, I don't know, like it's a big thing moving across the Atlantic just to study and being away for 4 years and being 16 years old and having everything back home. It was scary, not gonna lie. And my dad was like, I want you to experience what I experienced in the US and you're gonna have a great time. You just have to get there. Both my parents were very supportive. They wanted me to go and they encouraged me to go. So they were the ones that kind of pushed me to go over here. Not in a negative way, but like just encouraged me to go here. And then I signed with Missouri Southern probably a year before I came in 2021. And ever since I've been here, it sounds bad, but I've never missed home.
Really?
No, I get sad every time I have to go home.
Really? I mean, this is new home.
This is my home. Yeah, this is where I want to be, and I'm already planning to stay in the U.S. hopefully after graduating from Missouri Southern to do my masters, and then hopefully be able to work here or do something here.
That's awesome. I mean, literally, I've got goosebumps again. That's just awesome. That's an awesome story. Where would you want to like just like you graduate? Where would you want to go? Like,
So I want to try to do my master's degree because I know if I start working, I'm not going back to school. So I'm probably going to have to go to grad school directly after Missouri Southern. I have a couple of schools that I really want to get into, but they are really tough to get into, so we'll see. But I was in New York City now during spring break and visited one of the schools. It's John Jay University, which is one of the top criminal justice forensic schools in the nation. I have Sam Houston, I really want to try to get into, or New Haven. Hopefully one of those places, and I'll finish my master's degree in 2 years. And then hopefully after that, if I have all the grades and everything that I need, I'll try to apply for FBI Academy for 6 months.
oh, FBI.
Yeah, as a forensic scientist. That's the plan. I mean, a lot of things can change, and since I'm international, there's a lot of obstacles you kind of need to get around, but hopefully I'll make it happen.
I have no doubt you'll make it happen. I mean, just listening to how intelligent you are and just how hard you work so hard to get
Thank
the
you.
grades. I have no doubt you'll do it. Like it's just I'm so excited for you. That's
Thank you.
awesome. Like I know you'll get into those schools. I know you'll do great. Like that's just it's so great. Like I just love hearing that when I do these interviews because I look forward to like years down the road, like just seeing you succeed, just seeing all these people succeed. I'm just like, I know they'll all do great. Like, that's so exciting.
I'm so grateful that I've got so good people around me here at Missouri Southern. Just the people that are helping me to get into the school and prepare me for what I'm going to need when I apply. That helps a lot. And I'm always going to be grateful for that, even though if I don't end up at one of those schools, I'm always going to be grateful for the help that I get here.
Of course, that's great. I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome. That's awesome. What's your favorite part of Missouri Southern?
I would say just the bonding and everyone that you meet. Since it's such a small school, because I had always had a big dream that I want to go at a big school or like a big university. Even though that's still kind of a dream that I want to do, it's still kind of nice being in a smaller town and a small university because, I don't know, the bonding with other people just gets a lot stronger. Just by these 2 years that I've been here, I met a lot of people in other sports. I mean, we have sporting events that you get to meet the other student athletes. I'm good friends with multiple people in the football team. I room with one of the guys, and he's one of my best friends now. I have a couple of friends on the basketball team, and I mean, those are the people I'm still going to talk to even though I go back home after graduating here. So I would say just the people you meet and the relationships you build throughout these years.
Of course, that's always been like a benefit of going to a smaller school
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I went to a smaller high school when I was younger. Like I graduated with 14 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you know everything about each other.
Yeah.
You grow up together, so I kind of get what you're saying. Like you know everybody, and you know that can be a good thing because then you
Yeah.
get those like solid friends starting out now, and then you know that's just awesome. I'm so glad that you're having a great time here. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad, and I wish nothing but the best. I know you'll do great.
Thank you.
It's great talking about these things on this podcast. I mean, that's why we started, is because
Yeah.
we just get so excited to hear about people like starting out and like having such a good time, and then like we just look forward to seeing all of you succeed.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you don't, well, most of the people I met, you kind of first impression, you just get the student athletes, they're here to study and do their sport. But I mean, when you actually get to know the people, they've got so much to tell. And I mean, they have their history from childhood and I mean, their dreams and everything. And everyone's different. And that's what's amazing to just hear all the stories.
Of course, and that's why we started, is because
Yeah.
we want to hear all the stories.
Yeah.
I want to hear everything. I want to hear about your life. I'm this. It's awesome, and I really enjoyed talking to you today
Thank
and
you.
getting to know you
too.
and hear your experience.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on the show, and that's it for today.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome, and I hope you join us again. We
Oh,
would
I
love to
will.
talk to you again. That would be
Anytime.
great.
Anytime.
Awesome, and thank you all for listening to Real Life Experiences Podcast. We'll see you next time.